Alrighty, check one, two. Let's open up this. Alrighty, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the AfroMattt Show. This is episode number 175. And, I mean, it's been a week. It has been an entire week. A jam-packed week. So we have, I did some extensive research, and by extensive research, I mean I watched one video by Channel 5 News. For this first section, it is what I can describe it as is the reverse BLM in England. So whereas our BLM here in America in 2020, something like that, it happened after the killing of George Floyd. This one got kicked off by the killing of 3 little girls at somehow Taylor Swift is wrapped up into this, but I have compiled kind of a deep dive. Here we go. And this is the biggest stuff going on right now.
Much like at protests in the United States, a line of riot police who sustained minor injuries throughout the course of the day had formed a sort of demilitarized zone between nationalist Stop the Boats protesters and an equally sized counter-protest of mostly left-leaning Liverpool.
So the British people are active. They are activated. They have been activated. And they are upset because, of course, 3 girls got stabbed. It is, almost more sad when an innocent life, full of possibility, gets, taken from this planet unfairly. Yes, it's sad. It's more sad than George Floyd, where that was kind of, police, that George Floyd kind of represented. It wasn't for George Floyd. He represented police brutality. Whereas this, I feel like this has kind of come to represent, Muslim brutality. Guys, I don't live in England. Thank God. Thank God I don't live in England. But also, when he interviews people in England, it is the funniest thing. Because I can never take a British accent seriously unless they talk like that guy from Succession. That's the only time I can take it seriously. Any other time, it just sounds like a toddler trying to say words. You're like, okay, good job, yeah. Oh, I'm so fucking tired of these vicious shaking, like that. But so yeah, they're active, and I didn't know England was activatable like this. You guys still have a king. Like, you guys got to go deal with that. You guys have a literal monarch he literally does speeches about, like, housing affordability from a golden throne. Hey, I don't want to be the, the bearer of bad news or anything, but, and I definitely don't want to be this guy, but, if you guys are upset, don't take it out on anyone who lives close to you, because the people that live close to you are in your same struggle, right? The people that you need to go after are in these palaces. You guys have literal castles. How about you guys go sack a castle and start pillaging gold and gems? Like, you guys can seriously do some bad. We don't have castles. We have, like, mansions. We have Broadway. We have Mulholland Drive. We have, like, these Beverly Hills. Like, these aren't castles. It's not cool to sack. It's just sad. But I'm just gonna let the video play.
Locals who showed up in person to confront a mob of who they believe to be far-right racist protesters.
They're all inbred.
Yeah, they're all inbred. They're all inbred. While he sounds like he literally looks like the guy from Goonies.
Dancers.
They're not interested in those children that were killed in Southport. They just want to cause a fight. We're a multicultural city, a city of sanctuary, and I hope they get lost.
What do you think the solution is?
I hope they get lost. So obviously some anti-protests got activated, once the you know, the British boys got activated. And of course, I think they're being activated by like Andrew Tate, and there's a couple different like weird British personalities that are activating these guys. So these guys are activated, and they're out on the streets, and they're yelling and they're screaming. So let's see, you know, boots on the ground. What are they upset about?
Authority risk.
Religion means fuck all, lads. I'm not
This guy is fully cocked, by the way. This guy's like fully drunk.
asked. This is about people coming in. They could be Christians from Somalia or wherever, and they're fucking wrong-uns. That's what it is. We're letting wrong-uns in. This is not religious. That's bollocks. Fucking bollocks.
Fucking
this is
bollocks.
about the wrong-uns they're letting in. You could be a Christian. You could be whatever.
So this is a representative from. I mean, this is a representative. This guy might represent them all, but he's saying that they're letting the wrong-uns, which is American for they're letting the wrong ones in, which we've heard this sort of rhetoric before. This is the most fascinating part of this. Isn't riots or anything like that. The most fascinating part to me is how similar Britain, England, whatever, the UK. I really don't know what goes on over there. I think the UK is like England, Ireland, Wales, something like that, all combined. That's the UK. And then Britain is just Britain. And England is what English call themselves. They call themselves kind of like how Poland calls themselves, or Netherlands calls themselves Holland. Guys, I don't live there. I don't care about them. I mean, I hope the best for them, but I'm they're not on the top. When I wake up in the morning, I don't say, hey, what's going on in England? But the most interesting part is how similar a lot of this is to America. And what that gives to me, I get like a Geiger counter in my head, like the, you know, I have a Geiger counter for red flags on global control. And when something is happening and there's the same sort of rhetoric happening across the pond, as they say, exactly the same as it is here, some sort of global control is happening, right? And they stem from, honestly, probably the same groups of people. I mean, you're talking the news. Whoever owns the news is responsible for who's saying these things and what opinions are being put. I mean, guys, England has a collective IQ of like 55, probably average, right? And you have to imagine it's so much easier to activate a British population than it is an American population. Well, I mean, and it still is. It is hard to activate an American population. It literally took footage of a person dying by a police officer, like, to activate anyone. So, I mean, and the crazy thing is that footage happens every single day. So it's like, why aren't we active all the time? We can only be active in selective time. So, and that brings me to another point is like, I mean, guys, if the news was literally trying to activate people all the time, if they were activating them towards the correct things, like, hey, this small town in Liverpool, hey, guess who bought this entire strip of houses? Hey, you guys might not be happy, but all your rent's going to be going up because a giant corporation bought all of your houses. So either you move out and become homeless, or you, I guess, get a better job, or get more jobs. But yeah, I'll just continue.
You're coming in, you've got no intention of fucking helping the country. You're here to cause trouble. You're here to take and thieve and steal. You're here to stay for nothing. So, unfortunately, that's a no-no.
There's 50,000 people here on an MI6 list, isn't there? Start with that.
Yeah, so I mean, I love listening to British people talk. Here's another one.
This world is so corrupt. Labour's supposed to love the Northwest.
This guy, I genuinely do like this guy, because this is a breed of British person who knows where he is. He's a working class, boots on the ground. He's a dock worker. And dock working has been in his family for probably 80 generations. Like he's he's from that ilk.
They're supposed to be for the working class. They've stabbed the real people who has got real concerns. They've stabbed a lot of us in the back. And we supposed to stand here and let everybody call us right-wing and Nazis. I've got Asians in my family. I ain't racist one bit.
I got Asians in my family.
What I am is scared of this government.
We've now got two-tier Kia coming on the news and having the audacity to call the general public far right.
I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we've seen this weekend.
I've seen all this coming.
Thuggery.
No one wanted it. We've tried to warn about it, and I'm still going to try and warn about it. I don't want to fight anybody. We don't want wars with Muslims. I don't think it's a good idea attacking mosques at all. I'm not a conservative either. I'm not an anarchist. I want a decent party that cares about the people. That's all we want. Every person, doesn't matter where you're from.
Okay, so if Tories weren't the answer,
back.
Labour wasn't the answer, who is?
I'm not a politician and I'm thick as pig shit, but I can talk to
I'm
people.
thick as pig
I've never been
shit.
to school. I can only write my own name, but I've got an heart as big as a lion, and I'll stand there against them.
He said that he never went to school and he can only write. I can only write my own name. Like there are people like this that are still out there. Oh. I guess this is the equivalent of like a country bumpkin, like a redneck.
Anybody for the sake of our country. People need to wake up against Labour. These are the rats. We're not racist. We're scared.
Everybody out there is not acting and is not on this street now. Get out there and act. Don't go.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different opinions. Now let's get an opinion from the other side.
The far right's trying to threaten that.
I don't think there is anything special about what's happening in the UK. I think it's a reflection of what's happening internationally, in that you've got a
I really do like this guy. This guy has a lot of good points.
crisis of capitalism, living standards for, in society going downhill, just a general crisis of the system. Far right groups, obviously what they do is they latch on to the deep anger that exists. They build in the most impoverished areas of the country, and
These guys have to, I can't be nodding my head and approving of what this guy says when there's a Soviet Union sickle and hammer in the background. Guys, look, this is almost a heartfelt plea to everyone on the left. Please drop the socialism thing. Please drop it. Please. You can't be walking around with a sickle and having people take you seriously. It is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's too easy to activate people. I mean, I'm going to get activated if I see a sickle on my street. I don't even know why I would get activated. I feel like it's just ingrained in you to get activated when you see a sickle and a hammer marching down the street. You guys have to drop that symbolism. I know it's sick. It is sick. It is cool. A sickle is cool. It's cool. And a hammer, they represent the working class. You've got to drop it. You've got to drop the socialism term too. You guys can't say, hey, we want socialism, because we got to broaden our perspectives. The problem is the population. We are, dumb, and we've kind of exhausted all options for societies. It feels like there's no new options. No one's writing good books. No one's writing the next whatever. I don't know what was that, Das Kapital by Karl Marx. No one's writing the new socialist book. There's no new isms coming out. No one's coming up with new isms, so they have to stick with old ones. You have to get a new ism. Well, I don't care what it's called, but you can't be marching and saying, hey, I want socialism, I want capital, or I want communism. You guys got to get a little bit more nuance. I mean, you're fighting against people that are just screaming, I don't want my rights taken, and you're marching with a sickle. You guys, it's a losing battle. But what this guy's saying, I appreciate, but I cannot be just like not acknowledging the sickle and the hammer in the background.
Basically try and divert that anger away from class struggle against the bosses and against, first the Tories and now Labour. And they rile a lot of very young people up, young men up with very toxic ideas, and they send them out to go and attack migrant communities, That's a real threat we have to take seriously. And if the left doesn't have a convincing alternative that's based around mass struggle, that's based around fighting back in that kind of way. The far right seeps in.
How about this? Peopleism. Okay? Peopleism, it grabs a lot of guys. Who's not a person? All right? Personism. I like peopleism a little bit better. Peopleism. Hey, how about workerism? We're getting closer. Hey, are you a worker? Okay. Then you can get behind this thing. Now, what that represents, I don't know. I definitely I'm not a fan of the what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours, but maybe we can put capism instead of capitalism, you put a cap on it. So you can say, hey, enjoy capitalism as much as you want, but up to a certain point. Maybe, but then who says, and this is why it gets tricky, and it's like, who says what the cap is? Who's the cap guy? Who's the cap master? Then all of a sudden you have, Greedy McGrabber becomes your prime minister, and he starts putting caps on his friends and his enemies. This is the whole problem. This is why everything's a problem.
You've seen it in France. I think the end game of these far right groups is obviously to just create a society where there's mass expulsions of migrant workers. I mean,
we need to tell those people the alternative.
Yeah. So I mean, this guy and his husband, they're pretty nice. So, but we're gonna skip them. We're gonna go back to this guy because this guy's super cool.
Real change, yeah.
Cool. We need to build a new party that'll fight to defend the interests of working class people. The fact that our NHS is in such a bad state, rather than blaming that on migrants, let's enter into struggle to fight back against the private companies that are making huge profits. I think the real answer is class struggle. Uniting as a working class to fight for all of our interests.
Yeah, and I think that's what this whole rage is about. I'm going to expand on this man's point. All this rage. And this was the rage behind Black Lives Matter. This is the rage behind people supporting Trump. It's all the same rage. It's the people that are fighting on both sides of this. It's all the same rage. It's just misplaced. And everyone knows, guys, everyone knows what the problem is. The problem is literally ingrained inside of you. Everyone knows. And you know how I know everyone knows that it's ingrained is because if you mention BlackRock to anyone, they get activated. It's almost like it's if you're of the poor breed, our other human, right? It's in your blood to hate and to be activated. We're getting activated, right? When you talk about people that are controlling you. Everyone knows what the solution is, and no one wants to say what to do. No one wants to say what to do because that would put you in a very precarious situation. I'm not gonna say what to do. I'm not even gonna hint at it. Maybe this guy will. I don't know.
Whether you're a migrant worker, British born, it's about building that working class solidarity.
I believe in living in a kingdom that's good and true.
Nice. So, I mean, England, now let's just read the article here. What do we got? Why are there riots in the UK? So why is the killing lead to violence? So on July 29th, BB King, 6, Elise Standcombe, 7, and Elise de Silva Aguera, 9, were killed by a knife attack at a Taylor Swift-themed dance and yoga event. 8 more children and 2 adults were injured. Jesus. Later that day, police had arrested a 17-year-old from a village nearby, and so this kid, apparently 17-year-old, people are saying is Muslim. That's why this whole thing got fed up. And I can't really find any information about it because if I type in Muslim stabbing in Google, I get too many results. So I don't know if that might be where the issue stems from, but yeah, I mean, this whole thing is just it's misplaced anger. If you guys want to make a difference, and it's just misplaced anger. Guys, don't turn against your brother. Don't turn against your people of other skin color, gender, race, whatever. Hey, guys, instead of looking sideways, side to side, how about you look a little bit upwards at what's going on up there? Because that is where you need to be throwing bricks and throwing Molotovs is upwards. And guys, these are metaphors. I know a British person listening might be like, oh, I know what he's saying, and throw a Molotov straight up in the air and it comes down and lights himself on fire. That's not what I'm saying. This is a metaphor. Unless it's not for YouTube's sake. But let's continue on with the news. I forgot to play the intro news music. But yeah, who knew? England is activated. I mean, England might have a J6 situation on their hands pretty soon. I mean, they might storm the Capitol. Yeah, I mean, I saw this literally. This is not good. First men jailed in riot-related social media posts. So these two men were recently arrested. The first jail terms for using social media to encourage disorder. The recent unrest have been handed down. So this sets a concerning precedent, meaning what you post online can have massive ramifications on you, on your freedom. So I know in England they don't really have freedom of speech, and I don't know how that works, because if you can't really, I mean, how are these people really rioting if they don't have freedom of speech or assembly? I'm not too sure. Now, what can and can't you say? Is it up to the king? I'm not too sure. But, I mean, this guy got 20 months in prison. What did he even post? These guys posted memes. These guys probably posted a Pepe. What did he post? Taking aim at asylum seekers, he wrote, "They are over here given a life of Riley off the tax of us hardworking people. Earn when it could be put to better use. Come here with no work visa, no trade to their name, and sit in DOS." And I guess that landed him in prison. And in England, when they say that they're throwing stuff through windows, they call it missiles. They're throwing missiles and breaking windows, which I think is pretty funny. It makes it sound a lot worse. It makes them sound like they're literally throwing like armed rockets, like rockets through windows. They're throwing missiles through windows. But, you know, this is the kind of thought crime. I mean, this isn't technically thought crime because they actually posted their thoughts online, but it's pretty close. It's eerily close. It's too close for comfort. I mean, England. So from England to Bangladesh. So now Bangladesh apparently is also rioting. So Bangladesh riots. Why are thousands of students rioting against Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in his Pakistani army? Okay, whatever. What started as a special student protest in Bangladesh over a quota system for government jobs has escalated into a significant challenge and uprising against Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her ruling, the Awami League Party, as her local media reporters has resigned and left the country. So she left in a helicopter. So literally, these people, guys, Indian people are way smarter. Guys, the average Indian person, this is how smart they are. They realize they're not going after anyone else. They're not turning on their neighbor. They are literally, they chased their prime minister out of the country, and she had to leave in a army helicopter after protests announced plans to march the capital on Monday after a weekend of they literally forced their prime minister to leave within a weekend so they could all go to work the next day. Indians, I mean, just guys, literally, this is how easy it is. Indians, they just know how to do it. They're smart. They've done it before, I think, multiple times. I know they kicked the English out, so they know what they're doing. Indian people are smart. I think that probably, on average, they're 40, 50 IQ points above the average British person. So take that, do with that what you will. And also, this was like 100 students. Nearly 100 people were killed on Sunday. Jesus. Nearly 100 people were killed on Sunday as clashes between police and anti-government protesters intensified. Yeah. So see how it says anti-government protesters and not far right, far left? It's because they have come together and have unified against their perceived main threat. But guys, 100 people died. I know that's sad, but also it's India. Like a billboard falls and it kills 1,000 people. It's like becomes the biggest news. It's like literally the equivalent of a 9/11 when an earthquake happens. Like they have like 2 billion people there. Guys, I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but it's like there's casualties abound in India. Guys, I don't know what to say. I mean, Bangladesh, I think that literally Bangladesh has the population of America inside of like the size of New York City. It's I don't think you realize how much a billion people is. America is like 300,000. We would have to have 3 times the amount of people in America to equal them. Like it's ridiculous. Imagine your traffic now multiplied by 3. And try not to get activated against someone. But you also as as someone in the government, no wonder she left so quick. You don't want, like, if you're in control of a population of 1 billion people, that's pretty scary. You don't want those people activated, and you definitely want to leave quick when you know that the fight's over, because. I mean, 1 billion people is so many. I just imagine World War Z, where they're climbing up its bodies, and the zombies are climbing up the wall. It's like literally a huge wall, like the size of a skyscraper, and they're building a pyramid with their own bodies. That's what I imagine in my head. A Supreme Court ruling against reintroducing job quotas did not fully satisfy the protesters, who continued to demand the abolition of all job reservations for children of freedom fighters. This partial concession has done little to quell the movement. The situation intensified when former Army Chief General... So, my understanding of this is... So, sometime in the past, and I don't know Indian lore, right? But there was a group of people that fought against the government, and when they won... Those people were given the term freedom fighters. And freedom fighters, your family got it and it was passed. Your bloodline is now a freedom fighting bloodline. So they get special, and each job is required to meet a quota of hiring freedom fighters. So you get a lot of retards in jobs where they're probably not qualified just because their family fought against some government. And I see where they're coming from. It's like, hey, you guys, these people are, their family fought for freedom. So it makes sense, but also you get a lot of idiots just in jobs, and you don't want idiots in jobs. Especially jobs where you definitely don't want idiots in the position. So, but I mean, I guess it seems to have worked. Literally August 4th, Army sides with protesters. How is it this easy? How are they doing this? Look at this. Look at this timeline. July 18th, Prime Minister rebuffed. July 21st, Supreme Court verdict. They got the Supreme Court to overturn something in 3 days. And then August 4th, Army sides with protesters. On Sundays, hundreds of thousands clash with anti-government. Hundreds of thousands is a crazy how they just gloss over that. Hundreds of thousands clashed with government supporters again, resulting in 68 deaths, including 14 police officers, former Army Chief General. And how is this not bigger news, by the way? Urged the government to withdraw troops and condemned killings. Current Army Chief stated, they always stood with the people. Final call for protest. So, I mean, I guess stuff is good. I guess stuff is good. I mean, I don't know if they overturned everything, but back to normal. Back to the call center, as they say. Okay, we'll do one last. Gosh, my cat is so clingy right now. We'll do one last sad news. I mean, the first two are kind of actually not sad news, but like kind of happy because it's like stuff happening, stuff going on. I mean, the Bangladeshi one is pretty cool because it's like, I mean, they did that in a day. I did want to bring this to the attention because this weighs heavy on my heart and it weighs heavy on my soul. But I saw this news headline, and stuff like this doesn't always make it out to the headlines, and I can do what little I can do. But Israel used U.S. supply bomb to massacre 93 Palestinians in prayer in school. So they used a 250-pound bomb made by Boeing to strike a school-turned-shelter. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, the stuff happening outside your bubble, like, I was in traffic today, and anytime you're in, like, traffic or you have an issue, just imagine the horrible, apocalyptic things happening all across the world. Israel literally is bombing like children, like they're targeting. I mean, I don't know how to put it any more blunt than it seems like Israel they've run out of people to kill, so they're just bombing children. And, I mean, guys, what's happening in Israel, guys, this is the number one point people should be worried about for election season, and no one seems to talk about it. What's going to go on with Israel? Are they going to be held accountable? Are they going to be, I mean, is there going to be investigation into their use of phosphorus gas? Or they're bombing, or I think something like 400,000 people have died. I think it's like 140,000 have died. Like, are they going to be held accountable for any of this? Why are none of why is Kamala not talking about this? Why is Trump not talking about this? This should be a numero uno after everything. It should be this, and then the price of gas and groceries. That's the order it should be in. For me. Maybe not for you. That's just my priority is, can we hold Israel responsible fiscally, legally, emotionally? Can we patch that situation up? Is there any way to patch that up? What if we made... Okay. Hear me out. So my understanding is Israel and Palestine are fighting over the same playground, right? They want the Holy Land. What if we make a 1-to-1 Holy Land and put it somewhere else? Like, not even close. And we just have them both. Oh, how about we do this? We take the both of them, 1-to-1 recreations, and we put them under cups, and we go follow the cup game, and we spin them, and we switch them, so that no one, not even the person who mixed them, knows which is which. And now we put them in two different spots, and it's like, hey guys, now we've made two Holy Lands. You don't know which is which. No one knows which is which. I think that could solve the issue. Call me crazy, but maybe we would stop bombing children, literal children. Like England got activated over the killing of three children. Israel just bombed 93 while they were in school praying. Can we put this into perspective of like what's happening out there? Like, I mean, England, why don't you take boats and seize Netanyahu? How about you do that? How about you guys get together and raid, pillage, Viking style? Maybe go back to your roots. I don't know if they weren't. England wasn't really Vikings. They just kind of rolled up, and every single all the people that England ruled over, they were 100 years ahead of them. Like, they would roll up to people with muskets, and well, I guess they would roll up with muskets to people that were like still fighting with like stones lodged inside of like the tip of a stick. And they would like line up, muskets, fire. You're a British territory now. And they would just rinse and repeat that. But now England, I mean, everyone's caught up, so they can't really do that anymore. But they could, relive the glory days. All I know is something has to be done with Israel. They are out of control. Absolutely out of control. And I don't really like the rhetoric going on with RFK. RFK seems to have an undying support of Israel. Trump says, he's like, trust me, this war would have never started. None of this would ever happen. Ukraine would have never happened if he was president. Israel would have never happened if he was president. I guess a lot of things wouldn't have happened if he was president. And I guess when he goes in president, he's going to try to fix them. Who knows? Guys, he's going to drain the swamp this time. Trust me this time. This time will be different. And then, I mean, don't even get me started with Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I got roasted on TikTok because I didn't know. People were calling me racist. They said, who's Kamala? Kamala? Who's Kamala? Guys, you know who it is. You're not retarded. So, Kamala Harris, I guess. Instead of Kamala, it's Kamala. Which is, I guess, a huge issue. But for Kamala Harris, I haven't heard a single thing of what she plans to do. Apparently, she's just running. Her policies are. Here are Kamala Harris's policies. She's black, and she's a woman. That's kind of as far as I really even know. So it might go, maybe she has a really good economic plan for the future to handle inflation and gas and all this stuff. But so far, and also she's brat. So she's those three. And she's also a Midwest princess. So those seem to be what she's running on. I'm interested to see the debates because I don't know what she'll really talk about other than that. All right, let's continue on with this. Oh, this does seem to be a week of unrest because this is another one. Huge lithium mining protest triggers crisis meeting in Serbia. So Serbia is all upset. For the first time ever, America is the only place that's chill, apparently, right now. This was August 11th, which was 2 days ago. A massive protest in Serbia against a lithium mining project. Guys, if you know anything about lithium mining, it is one of the, nastiest and detrimental environmentally and to the people that do it. Also owned by BlackRock, most likely all the lithium companies. The government issued a crisis meeting. Tens of thousands of protesters marched through the capital of Belgrade on Saturday to demonstrate against an opening of what could become one of the largest lithium mines in Europe. Industry is keen to secure supplies of the crucial raw material for electric car batteries. This is what, guys, electric cars, you guys got to stop trying to make them happen. Electric cars are worse in almost every way compared to gas-powered electric cars. I mean, it takes... So lithium batteries. First off, lithium batteries are heavy as shit. You have to load up 16 of what, like 8 of these. They're literally the size of like a tabletop, and you have to put them on the bottom of a car, and you have to charge them for 8, like, whatever, while you're sleeping. It's probably like an hour, but you have to do that every time you want to drive. Whenever you run out, and then you have to like watch a movie, I guess, on your Tesla screen while you pump gas. Do you want to watch a hour-long episode of The Bachelorette every time you pump gas? I know I don't. First off, that's my main gripe. Number 2 is like, electricity doesn't spawn. It doesn't just spawn out of nowhere. Nikola Tesla, unfortunately, is dead. And so we can't harness the electricity that's flying in the air because they killed him. So we have to get electricity from somewhere. I guess if you're close to a nuclear power plant, you are pretty much golden. That's gold. If you're not, that electricity is coming from most likely something that is putting lots of fumes into the air. And it's I can almost guarantee you it's a negligible amount of fumes compared to what you would put out if you just put in gas in your car. So all this back and forth about electronic vehicles has got to stop. All the cool stuff you can do with an electronic car, you can do in a regular car. It's annoying, and I'm just waiting for the fad to die. I'm just dying to wait. I'm just, it needs to not happen ever. So now what we could do is in Fallout, the video game, gonna get a little nerdy, but they're everything they have is powered off of nuclear, which if you wanted to put a nuclear reactor in a car, I mean, it doesn't sound like the best idea saying it out loud, is the cleanest way to fuel a car, I guess. But then you have all those people that would like march on the streets. Where are you going to put all this nuclear energy for 20,000 years? Or the nuclear runoff or whatever. Guys, 20,000 years is a long time. We no one needs to worry about it. We probably won't even be here for 20. How about we worry about surviving the next 100 years before we start worrying about 20,000 year half-life of a silo full of nuclear sludge. I got so heated one time. I was in middle school. No, I was in high school chemistry class, and I did a presentation on why we should just use nuclear energy. And I think my own teacher was against nuclear energy. I'm like, I've yet to hear a convincing argument for why nuclear energy is not just the best. It seems like just the best, period. It doesn't release any toxic emission. All that smoke you see is just steam. It's hot air. I guess hot water. So it releases steam. All it does is heat up the water that passes through it. The water doesn't even get nuclear radiation on it. It's just water. The only problem is, what do you do with all those sticks, the rods of uranium once they get used up. And right now they just put them in a giant concrete silo, which I mean, guys, you don't have to really worry about it. Although they do say, what if in 10 or 100 years the silo cracks and all that stuff spills out? Okay. What if every 8 years we build a bigger silo around it? We're thinking out loud here, but you know what? I don't even know what the lithium mine. Let's look up what a lithium mine even looks like. Okay, here we go. Here are some photos of lithium mines. So they turn a luscious green, like, forest landscape into this. So these are just like a patchwork of gray. And they've got these giant trucks that come up and pack up the lithium. Oh, here are some nice. So this is why people are upset. It's because this is what they'll be doing. This is when they see someone building the biggest lithium mine, they know that this is what they're going to be doing. It looks like they're panning for gold, and it's just lithium. Yeah, so they're I guess, yeah. I mean, this literally looks like something from lithium. I guess looks like salt. I guess the salt like rises to the top, and then they put it in these giant rows. I mean, are there going to be like lithium barons in the future? Like, who would have thought lithium is one of the most desirable items on the planet? All right. Vuvik claimed on Friday in a national speak that he was informed by Russian security services that a coup d'etat against him was being prepared. Lots of talk about coup d'etats recently. Coup d'etats. I feel like I can't escape coup d'etats. They're talking about the secret coup d'etat. Is it coup d'etat on America, coup d'etat in apparently Serbia to usurp his presidency. Lots of coups happening. One last thing. I wanted to do a little bit of... I found this, and this was posted 3 years ago, but it absolutely blew my mind. So here is... So, Ghislaine Maxwell, that we all know and love. That Ghislaine Maxwell, the right-hand lady to the... most prolific sex trafficker probably alive. Well, my bad. Dead. But most famous, infamous. That Ghislaine Maxwell was the number 3 most famous person on Reddit anonymously. And this guy breaks it all down. So this account called Maxwell Hill, user Maxwell Hill on Reddit, was Ghislaine Maxwell. So she was a moderator / lead moderator on major subs, world news, politics, technology, etc. She has since been removed. Here, this is a huge list of evidence for Ghislaine Maxwell being, but an interesting thing on also Ghislaine Maxwell being a moderator on / world news and politics. She could literally just delete any post that she sees in there about herself. But this makes you, she is literally like the 3rd biggest person on. So imagine Reddit is like YouTube. She is Mr. Beast, anonymously Mr. Beast, just out there. Like, when you put it into that perspective, guys, by the way, I have to talk about Mr. Beast. but she is the 12th most liked karma on the planet. 18 now, because she hasn't posted. And guess what? This account hasn't posted in... She hasn't posted in a year. Guess how long she's been in prison? A year. Interesting. Interesting. The account is called Maxwell Hill. So let's see, what is this? She literally posted, oh my God, this is actually really disturbing. This is really disturbing. So I'm going to link this in the thing, but Ghislaine Maxwell is posting like evident or like news articles, like reference for why people should be able to like have relations with kids and stuff. It's weird. The whole situation is weird. I'm going to link this post below because it blew my mind while clicking through some of this. She did a AMA. That's funny. That's pretty funny. But yeah, now I have to talk about, before we go on to TikTok time, I have to talk about Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast got his ass blown wide open this weekend too. So apparently Mr. Beast has been called out by one of his former employees for not only faking his videos, but being absolutely illegal in almost all of them. So I think what he says is what Mr. Beast does is a sweepstakes versus a lottery. So when it's a sweepstakes, you have to have random chance, pay to enter, or there's a third one too, but you can't have all three. You have to have only two of those. And Mr. Beast was known time of winning or something like that. Or timeline, something like that. Or known prize. So random chance, known prize, and the third is paid entry. So you can't, for a sweepstakes, you can't have all three. You have to have only two. You have to restrict yourself to two. So, for instance, you don't know what the prize is. It's a free entry. So you don't know what the prize is. You pay to enter, and it's a random chance. Or there's no random chance, but you don't know what the prize is. Right? Mr. Beast has been running these things, and this is legal documentation. This is just how sweepstakes have to be run by the United States. Mr. Beast has been running these sweepstakes illegally for his entire career. He's been doing these videos where he does live streams, and if you buy a t-shirt, you'll get a prize or whatever, or you have a chance at a prize. Mr. Beast guys, I've been saying this for the longest time. I've never been a Mr. Beast fan. I've been saying that he's Mr. Beast, the mark of the beast. I think that he's literally one of the leading causes of the apocalypse to come. His entire business plan is built around getting kids addicted to gambling. So all of his videos, he's always like, and he's doing this under the guise of being some sort of philanthropist, and he's like, hey, I donate all the money, so it's fine. So he's like, hey, go get your mom's credit card, and if you buy a t-shirt, you might get $100. We might put $100 in your thing. First off, you don't know what the chance are. You might. What chance is that, right? It's if Mr. Beast wants you to do it. Random chance, not really random. And known prize. It might be $100. It might be an Xbox, right? He's doing these things. Kids are getting disappointed. That's not the main issue. Not my main issue. I don't care about kids being disappointed. But, I mean, Mr. Beast is just a scumbag. He's an autistic freak who only sees dollar signs when he sees any other person. And Oh, this part, this was actually crazy. So Mr. Beast did a Willy Wonka chocolate factory to celebrate his selling of his new chocolate bar, the Feastable chocolate bar. So the Feastable chocolate bar, first off, the peanut butter one is actually so good, and I'm sad I can't buy it anymore, but that shit is so gas. I mean, it just is. It is how it is. It's so gas. But yeah, to celebrate his thing, he was doing golden tickets. So if you got a golden ticket, you got to fly out to be in Mr. Beast's Wonka place, and then if you win the facility that he built the Wonka house in. Surprisingly, a YouTuber opened up a Wonka bar live on a YouTube video, and it just happened to have a golden ticket, and he participated in the video, and lo and behold, that YouTuber who knew Mr. Beast ahead of time because he called him on the live stream and said, I got a golden ticket, lo and behold, that guy won. So people are saying that's rigged. So now when you're rigging events with people that are actually like think they have a chance or whatever, now you're talking about other issues. There's stuff about, you guys have to go watch the videos. I think his name is like Mad Dog, something like that. He's releasing like a series, and he's releasing one every 2 weeks or whatever, just dogging on Mr. Beast. And I mean, I've been waiting for this for so long. I haven't watched a Mr. Beast video in years, since they were real. Back when they were real and he was like counting to 100 in his room or whatever. But the new Mr. Beast only sees dollar signs. And when he sees his children fans, and this is the sickest part too, when you see your children fans and all you see is a route to get to their kids, to get to their mom's credit card, you are an evil being. So, you know, just keep your eyes out for more Mr. Beast stuff coming soon. Now let's get on to TikTok time, and then we'll wrap it up. Nope, that's not it. What is it? Which one do I play for this? It's this one, right? Nope. It's this one. All right, we're getting on to TikTok time. So this is Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone, if you don't know who Grant Cardone is, he is one of these sales gurus or whatever, and he's holding a seminar, I assume in like a Hilton or whatever. It looks kind of trashy, but I mean, this is just gold.
Took out 2 loans to get here today. I don't even have money for a hotel.
Give him a big hand, guys. Homeless dude.
Give him a
I
hand.
slept in my car the past 2 nights, but I just wanted to show up. So my question is, how do you 10x your mindset to like break through that fear of just like getting to the next point?
You know, the thing you need to start doing is collecting money. Your mind's not your problem, bro. Like, you're sleeping in a car. 99% of the people in this room, probably no one else in the room is willing to do that, including myself. You need to pick up a check. I would tell you, before today is over, you should get somebody to give you $500. You don't need a job to do that. You need a target. It's simply a target. I need $500. It starts with the first 500 or 100 or 50, whatever the number is that you need to be like, I need to get somebody to give me something.
Will that work? So somebody asked, what do I do?
Hold on, bro. Bro, do not talk through the close.
So now people in this place are just bringing him money.
Wow.
Which is nice because he's homeless.
I want half that, bro. Now, what just happened was he showed up. He didn't know that would happen. I didn't promise him I would do it. I never met him, don't know him. And I just gave him the most valuable thing in the world, dude. Attention from a qualified audience. So you guys are learning the little pieces here. Don't just show up anywhere. Show up where you can be in a room of possibility.
Great and Cardone. I just love that intro.
So, took out 2 loans to get here today. I don't even have money for a hotel. Slept
Give
in
him
my
a big
car.
hand, guys. Homeless dude.
Give him a big hand,
Slept in my
homeless
car the
dude.
past 2
Hey, give him a big hand, homeless dude. Oh. All right. We got to set you down back there. Okay. Let's continue on with the news here. Oh, this is I think this is unrelated to what's going on in England, but
The victims of a dead.
It did make me laugh a little bit.
The victims of a deadly triple crossbow attack have been revealed as the family of BBC 5 Live racing commentator John Hunt.
I mean, it's sad seeing their faces, but what is going on in England? Can we be serious for a second and say what is going on in England? I mean, they banned guns and they banned zombie knives, whatever that means, and now they have 3 people died to a crossbow attack. Like, the people are dying there in medieval ways. They're gonna start getting like pitchforked. It is a medieval ass country. I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. Let's watch this video. This one's good. This one's really good, actually.
I'm sorry to bust.
This one actually might be a Hall of Famer.
I'm sorry to bust in like this, but
I'm sorry to bust in like this. So this guy, for the audio listener, this guy is crawling out of a hole in this man's house.
I'm sorry to bust in like this, but
What the fuck are you doing in my house?
I'm sorry to bust in like this, but I just beat that case I just beat a case at Chuck E. Cheese. It's my 16th. It's my 16th case that I've had so far. And
Hold on, I got something for your ass. Spread your shit! Spread them! Spread them! They're gonna fucking love it.
I mean, I think that this might be fake, but it's also pretty funny when he crawls out of the hole.
who?
People in prison.
I'm not going to prison. I'm not
But also, I don't think it's fake because this guy looks so fucked up.
going to prison.
This guy's got like a shitty beard. He's cross-eyed. He looks high on something.
Yeah. Hold up, dude. First off, what would I go? What would I go to prison for, bro?
You're in my fucking house.
So he's going back in the hole, and he's pulling out.
Arkansas criminal code is gonna back me up on this one, buddy.
He's got criminal code.
I done beat 16 cases at Chuck E. Cheese's, boy.
So I mean, the guy looks, completely demented. He beat 16 cases at Chuck E. Cheese, whatever that means. But he knows his criminal code, so. All right, we'll watch one more video. This is a guy who takes a gangster to a furry convention.
Looking around, what are you thinking?
The fuck is everybody here doing? Where the fuck you bring me at?
My friend.
So he brings like a hood gangster guy to a furry convention, which I think is funny. Because I mean, hood dudes in non-hood situations is always A plus. It's just always an A plus. Like, bring a hood dude to a Catholic church, or bring a hood dude to, I mean, I don't know. Furry convention is good. I'm just trying to think of something where he would be like crazily out of his comfort zone. What's something white? Like maybe a golf course, like a country club. That would be good.
The fuck is everybody here doing? Where the fuck you bring me at?
My friend has never been here before. He's from the K in DC. Can you explain to him what a fursona is?
It's like a spirit animal, but modern day. Way to be yourself and express who you are.
It's like the animal inside.
Yeah.
So what do you think his animal is?
I have no idea. That's for him to decide.
What's your animal?
My dog.
He's a dog.
Hey, welcome to the fan club.
Yeah.
Hey, at least it's not racist, right?
I mean, I'm a brown deer, so, I mean, if anyone's racist, I think that would be me, right?
What's your deer battle noise?
Yeah! Hit it!
Yeah, hit him out.
Yeah!
Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
The gang. This is so funny.
What kind of animals do you like?
Guns.
I'm a wolf.
That's cool then. Be a wolf.
You guys have battle calls? Let's hear it, man.
You guys are hilarious.
Mine will be like, oh, whoa, go, 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 go.
I love what you do.
Thank you, man. It's
Yeah,
great to
man.
meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. Hope you guys have a great Anthrocon.
You too.
Oh, is that a puppet? Are you a ventriloquist?
What do you want to hear?
I just want to hear you compliment Baby 50 here.
Baby 50. So go watch that. Go support that guy's whole video. It's so good. I think it's called "Bringing a Gangster to a Furry Convention." It's the full video. Alrighty. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. So Whew, I mean, hopefully the world can take a breath this week. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, 4 freaking riots in 1 week is a lot to handle. But thanks for listening. Goodbye.